I thought I was prepared for my sister's wedding. I had the dress, the smile, the perfect congratulatory speech memorized. But nothing could have prepared me for what my own father whispered to me that night. My heartbeat felt like a trapped bird against my ribs the minute the music started. It wasn't just wedding jitters. It was the sight of my older sister, Chloe, gliding down the aisle. She looked perfect, like she always did. And next to her, my dad, so proud. I swallowed hard, the expensive champagne suddenly tasting like ash. I was the forgotten one, the black sheep who chose a different path than the one he paved. Chloe got the law degree. She married the doctor. I became a struggling artist in a tiny city apartment. My inner voice, that mean little critic, whispered, "See, this is what success looks like." I tried to shake it off. I was happy for her, genuinely. But the silence in the church, right after the I do's, felt heavy with unspoken judgment. The reception was a blur of toasts and polite laughter, but something felt off. I kept catching Dad's eye. It wasn't anger I saw. It was this deep, cold disappointment, like looking at a failed investment. I finally managed to corner him outside by the fountain, where the cold night air offered a brief escape. I needed to clear the air. "Dad," I started, "it's a beautiful wedding. You must be so proud of Chloe." He just looked at me, and I felt the familiar knot of anxiety twist in my stomach. His shadow stretched long on the pavement under the distant lamplight. "It is," he said, his voice low, almost a rumble. A sudden, sharp gust of wind made me shiver, but it wasn't just the breeze. It was the way he was looking at me. He continued, "I am very proud. I waited for the 'and you too,' the simple, kind assurance. It never came." He took a slow, deliberate breath, and in that moment of absolute silence, I could hear the faint, muffled thud of the distant party music. Then he leaned in, his eyes narrowed, and delivered the sentence that completely destroyed me. "I wish you had never wasted that scholarship." I physically recoiled as if he'd struck me. My mind went blank. That scholarship. The one for finance at State University, the one I turned down for art school, it had been years. Years. "Dad, what are you talking about? It was my choice, my life," I choked out, my voice barely a whisper. My hands were shaking. He didn't raise his voice. That's what made it so terrifying. It wasn't just a scholarship, Clara. It was her only option for 2 years. "Whose?" I protested, completely lost. He sighed, a deep, burdened sound. "Your sister's, Chloe's." "She had a full ride to Yale Law," I protested, completely lost. He shook his head slowly. "Not for undergrad. We couldn't afford 2 tuitions that year. When you got yours, she put her life on hold. She took community college courses and waited. The only reason she got that Yale opportunity was because she worked 3 jobs and saved every penny of her meager savings from those 2 years. She told me she wanted to travel first," I whispered, the betrayal a bitter taste on my tongue. "He lied to you, to protect you from the guilt." The distant noise of the party suddenly felt deafening. Betrayal, regret, both slammed into me at once. My heart was pounding so hard, I thought he must hear it. Chloe had given up her chance, her only chance for a prestigious undergrad, to let me have a scholarship I'd ultimately thrown away. And for years, she had watched me struggle, never once mentioning the enormous, life-altering sacrifice she had made. I looked back toward the glittering ballroom where my sister was dancing, her life finally the picture of perfection. But the secret was a silent, cold weight in the night air between me and my father. It wasn't my dad who had destroyed me with one sentence. It was the truth hidden within it, the mystery of her years. and my own profound, selfish ignorance. I realized then that the biggest love story in my life wasn't a romantic one. It was the silent, heartbreaking sacrifice of my sister. I stood there, surrounded by the echoes of 1,000 celebratory cheers, utterly alone with the terrible truth. All I could manage was a single, silent tear sliding down my cheek, a tear for her lost time and for my profound, painful blindness. Sometimes the greatest mysteries are found in the people who love us the most. They carry our burdens in silence, and the cost of their sacrifice is a debt we can never truly repay, only honor. If you want more stories like this, hit subscribe.